Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Algorithm Empowerment. Before we get started today, I wanted to ask you a quick question. Have you ever felt like you've been stifled by the insatiability of the world? What I mean by this is, have you ever felt discontented because you didn't have the newest iPhone, the best car, or the best clothes? Well, today, Dr. Beers is going to talk about a book with you about practical ways to help you go beyond this insatiability and feel gratitude for what's already yours. Without further ado, let's give it.
Hey, my name is Lance Beers. My review is on a book called The Ancient Art of Stoic Joy by a gentleman named William Irvine. It's a book about the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. And Stoics, when you think of it, they get a bad rap. Over the course of time, over the course of many hundreds and hundreds of years, the meaning of Stoicism has kind of been completely dismantled. It's been muffled to mean a lack of emotion, somebody who doesn't have any emotion. But this isn't really what Stoicism is at all. It's actually a shockingly advanced, very, very old philosophy that had a lot of followers in ancient Rome, including uh, one of the Roman emperors named Marcus Aurelius. He was kind of a big advocate of Stoicism. And Stoicism is just a series of mental techniques and different ways of life that allow you to kind of decrease and then pretty much eliminate all negative emotions like fear, and anger, and anxiety. Um, and the Stoics, they pointed to two major sources of unhappiness in humans. And they developed techniques to remove these sources of unhappiness from our lives. The first and the big one would be our insatiability, or in other words, our inability to be satisfied. And most humans are wired to where instead of placing value on the things that we already have, we spend most of our life, most of our working life, working hard to gain things that we don't have, with the belief that once we have these things, we'll be happy and we won't have to search anymore. This is very rarely, actually probably never true. They drew the conclusion that whatever it is that we find in our lives wanting is unlikely to really bring us any happiness or tranquility or joy or peace. And for each desire that we actually fulfill, a new desire is going to pop in our head and take its place. So no matter how hard we work to satisfy our desires, we're really no more better off than if we had never even pursued any of it. To conquer our insatiability, they recommended that we engage in something called negative visualization. And it's a simple, silly kind of technique, but I speak from firsthand. It actually works. So we should try and visualize or think about, things like death in the family, a loss of all of our money, that our house is burned down. We should even think about our own death, that you've lost your sense of sight or taste or hearing. And spend a few minutes every day thinking about these sorts of things. It's not something that you have to base your whole life on. You don't have to do it all day long. Just right before you go to bed, spend a couple minutes doing it. When you're driving to work or when you're driving to school, frequently doing this and engaging in this negative visualization, it'll make it easier to actually find value and appreciate things that we already have. And because we now appreciate what we have, we're less likely to form other desires. We can stop those dominoes from falling. And rather than wanting new things, we basically need to work harder to want the things that we already have. It's such a simple concept, but to have a good and a meaningful life, we need to overcome our insatiability. The next great trick, so Stoicism is just a series of little tricks to help you in life. The next great trick that the Stoics preach is one that kind of allows you to eliminate the anxiety in your life. And that can be done by separating your worries into things that you can control and to things that you can't. It's a really simple concept, but it works. Politics, for example. Politics are something that's completely out of your control once you actually leave the voting booth. And so you have to do your due diligence, research the candidates, go vote, and then forget about it. Wash your hands of it. It's completely out of your hands. What's the point in letting something that's completely out of your hands disrupt the tranquility of your life? This isn't just a talking point. We can actually train ourselves to embrace this mindset. Another example along the same lines is our health. Instead of worrying about your health, like pretty much everybody does, You can simply work to the best of your ability to eat the right foods, exercise, optimize the body you've been given, and then the matter is completely closed. Wash your hands of it, and you can confidently move on. The big thing that resonated with me the most is the value that the Stoics placed on self-discipline. They thought that the key to living a fulfilling life and being able to value things that are actually valuable is done through discipline. And this is the major point that really resonated with me, and it helped me to kind of reset and get back on track. We get into little ruts in life. And when I read this book, this is the thing that really hit me. They thought that self-discipline is worth possessing because disciplined people actually have actual ownership over their life. And people who lack self-discipline will have their life path that they take determined by someone or something else. They think that there's this undisciplined pleasure seeker in all of us, and that it's the enemy, and we have to kind of establish dominance over it. And the way to do this is to voluntarily cause the undisciplined enemy in our mind, voluntarily cause them discomfort. They were big on voluntary discomfort as a way to make us less soft. Humans have become so soft, and the Stoics actually enjoy experimenting with voluntary discomfort from time to time. So as a Stoic, you might make a point of seeing how long you can leave the air conditioning off on a hot day in August, in your house or in your car. Try to go on a hike in bare feet, take an ice cold shower, fast for 24 hours or more. It sounds completely absurd to deprive yourself of these simple luxuries, but until you realize, you're actually broadening your comfort zone. You're making yourself less soft. You're broadening your comfort zone while you eliminate your fear and discomfort. So to wrap things up, the main thing is if somebody asks me, why should I practice Stoicism? What can I take from this book? I would tell them kind of about our evolutionary past and how we're evolutionarily programmed to want certain things and crave certain things and programmed to experience certain emotions under certain circumstances. It's in our genes. We're programmed for that. So for example, consider the pain we might experience when someone publicly insults us. The evolutionary explanation for this is that we experience the pain because our ancestors who actually cared deeply about gaining and keeping social status were more likely to survive and to reproduce than our ancestors who didn't care about it, the ones who were indifferent to it. So our ancestors who wanted more of everything were naturally selected for it, and they passed on their genes, and they left us with who we are today. So this programming, this evolutionary programming, has kind of outlived its usefulness. And although this programming allowed our ancestors to survive and reproduce and thrive, it can really lead to modern humans in this day and age living miserable lives. And by using our ability to reason, remember, we're the only species that can actually do reason. By using our reasoning ability, we can overcome this kind of sometimes harmful evolutionary programming. The Stoics identified a bunch of problems and they developed systems to conquer them and take care of them. So I hope you enjoyed my short little presentation here, and I hope everyone has an excellent summer. And, keep giving.